The Pioneer Award, this category honors individuals who have had a significant influence on the development of agriculture and who have unselfishly served their communities. Please help me welcome Melissa Neff Hill and Dave Neff as they induct Walt and Tony Neff into the Ag Hall of Fame with the 2024 Wheatland Bank Pioneer Award.
Walt was born and raised between Franklin and Spokane County and the eldest son of Rogers and Ruthie Neff. Walt has always loved cultivating the earth. When Walt was a little boy, he would get in trouble often in class. The teacher would catch him daydreaming. He would be sitting pretending he was driving a tractor and plowing the fields. He never did like school very much. Walt was 16 when he learned to drive his first combine with his older brother, Doug. The first combine that Walt learned to drive was a 1955 green John Deere Hillside with a yellow umbrella for shade, no cabs and or air conditioning in those days. After graduation in 1967, Walt attended CBC where he learned to, where he earned his certified welding certificate. He received recognition twice for being on the president's list during this time. After graduation, Walt spent a few years working in Vancouver, Washington, and Portland, Oregon at the shipyards, building barges, bridges, and an oil derrick platform for the state of Alaska. In 1969, Walt was drafted to serve with the United States Marines. He served between 1969 and 1971. Walt was away fighting for our country. It had been said several times throughout the years that it took two men to replace Walt. He has always had a very solid work ethic. Walt always says, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. Corporal Neff returned home to the family ranch in 1971. That same year in November, he met the love of his life, Tony. Tony was born in Missoula, Montana, to Samuel and Connie Myers. 3 months later, Walt and Tony were married. After 50 plus years of marriage, Walt and Tony get asked a lot, what is your secret? Walt always says, good communication and great sex. As they say, the rest is history.
Good evening. So Walt and Tony Neff, my parents, my mentors. I cannot say enough about their dedication to their industry and community, but for their dedication to each other. Mom and Dad always made sure they took time for each other. My father was a force to be reckoned with when it came to work. As my sister said, my grandfather told me once that when my father got drafted into the Marine Corps, he had to hire 2 guys to replace my dad. I grew up working for and with my father. He was always the first out the door and the last back in. His dedication to his profession was second to none, and his passion to serve his community was great. I cannot recall a time when my father and mother were not involved in some sort of community or industry organization. My mother was always there to take up any slack. Parts runner, tractor driver, truck driver, she did it all. They were a great example to my sister and myself. Prayers around the dinner table, always praying for rain, and help with homework if needed. Always supporting us if we wanted to participate in sports or other activities. My father had many sayings. I will not my father had many sayings, many that cannot be repeated here tonight. I will risk this one for my clothes. Bullshit talks and whiskey costs money. Thank you. Please welcome Walt and Tony Neff.
I've been farming ever since I got out of the Marine Corps, and before I was in the Marine Corps, I farmed until I got drafted into the Marine Corps. It's something I've always loved. Even when I was going to high school, I'd pretend like I was driving tractor. My grandfather came west. He didn't think a whole lot of this ground because it was sandy, but it's good ground. You can grow anything on this ground as long as you have water.
When we lived on the farm, and even after we moved to town a little bit, I would go out and during harvest I would drive tractor. I loved living on the farm. To me it was the extension because I was always there. He could call and say, I need a ride for this or that, and I could do it, and I loved working out there.
I got involved in the wheat growers, and I became president of the Franklin County Wheat Growers, and also got involved in the state level, and I became the state president. I sat on the budget committee for the National Wheat Growers. I sat on the foundation. When I was asked to serve on the board of directors for the Pasco Chamber of Commerce, I felt that the Tri-City Chamber was trying to absorb the Pasco Chamber, and it really upset me because the Pasco Chamber is strictly an agriculture chamber. This is an ag community. We have to maintain. People worked hard all their life in agriculture. The Ag Hall of Fame is very important.
This is for farmers.
Strictly for farmers. It's important.
And I think it's very rewarding that they're actually involving me in this, because there's so many wives that are so involved, and if it wasn't for the wives, your husbands wouldn't be able to do the things that they do.
Here to present the 2024 Wheatland Bank Pioneer Award is Bill Shibley.
Good evening. On behalf of Wheatland Bank, I very proudly want to award the Pioneer Award to Walt and Tony Neff.
What the hell can I say? I want to say that I was one of the first guys to sit on the Ag Hall of Fame. Dorothy Shepik started it. Jim Clintworth was there. Louis Meisner was there. Now Louis passed. Dorothy Shepik, she's still here. She's probably not here tonight, but she's still alive. Jim's here. Anyway, we all served together. I chaired it for a while, and then Gary Middleton took over, and he chaired it. And it's come a long ways. It's almost like the Golden Globes. Not quite, but anyway, I was told not to talk very long, and I probably won't be asked to come back after that prayer. That's all right. I think my bride here probably would like to say a few words, right?
I guess.
You guess.
Farming for women should be part of the love they have for their husband. I didn't grow up farming, but I loved it so much. We've been married almost 52 years come February. And yes, we met in November and got married in February. And it's been a love match ever since. And he loved the farm and me. And to me, I always said the farm was first, but he said it wasn't. But farming has been so strongly in our our genes and our life, that there is nothing like farming, I don't think. Everybody ought to try it, at least work ethic and the fun of the family is so involved in everything. The kids worked with it, and hopefully the grandkids are working with it now. Our grandson is now the 5th generation working on the farm. And it's just been a really good life. And I thank you all, and we feel very honored. Thank you.
I want to say one thing. You need to get involved. You gotta go tell your story. Get involved and tell your story. You're gonna get out of your comfort zone, but that's all right. And I got out of my comfort zone. I was on the National Wheat Growers, and I had to get up and talk. And that's all the presidents in the whole United States were there. I was so damn nervous. It wasn't funny. I was. My knees shook. I shook everywhere. I was about like a coyote pooping peach pits. That's how bad it was. But, But anyway, I just want to thank everybody that's here. And I'm really good at telling it the way it is. So y'all enjoy yourself tonight.
And thank you very much.
And thank you for this.
How do you follow that? I don't know if I'm as nervous as a coyote pooping peach pits, but I think that's one I'm going to remember. My kids will enjoy that one when I get home. But thank you, Melissa, Dave, Walt, Tony, and Bill.